with a bigger vote margin. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress says the victory is a taste of what is to come in 2024. Coming up also in the bulletin, shortage of petrol and LPG product. Should expect shortages from Thursday, June 29, due to tanker driver strike over poor roads. We'll bring you some sports news today as the Ghana Black Meteors defeated by host nation Morocco in a 5-1 loss in the ongoing Under-23 AFCON. You're welcome to the program. Let's start with some news in politics. And residents of Asana North have spoken and they have given James Jachikwe another victory in a hard-fought by-election yesterday. Pouring onto the streets in the wild celebrations, the youth say not even threats of imprisonment of their member of parliament could deter them from voting. My colleague Garrick Mauna-Egbata has the mood of the constituency after the by-election in this report.
Constituent here at Asimbreku, the hometown of James Jachikwe, after he was formally declared victorious in the by-elections here, the 27th of June. Komla Kruche is here with me as well, my colleague who's been all throughout the processes in this by-elections with us on your election command center. Komla, ecstasy purely from these constituents.
Well, you can't fault them. They wanted this, and this is what they got. I mean, many interpretations can be put to this, but it's a strong signal that they are sending to the rest of the country that irrespective of whatever there is. I mean, we had seen even today, whilst voting was ongoing, there was some level of roadworks going on.
James Jachikwe at the Catholic Youth Center as well responded to the comments by the president and all of the controversy which has characterized his reign. First time which has been officially expunged according to a ruling by the Supreme Court. Here is what he told journalists at the Catholic Youth Center.
I believe in the rule of law, and I do things according to the law, right? And also I had the support of my constituent, all the people of Asana, not just even Asana, because people alone, my NDC fraternity, then I got people from even the other side. Politics is not about sharing money to citizens and get a vote. It's about development. I was a bit disappointed to hear that. And I know he's a lawyer, and the fundamental belief or value of legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty. So for him to say that, I think it's not a qualified statement. But again, the good people of Asana have demonstrated that they have conscience and they believe in me.
And so for many of the MPs present and the bigwigs within the NDC, this will serve as a catalyst for elections 2024. Boem MP Kofi Adams believes that the NPP as a party needs to stand firm and be watchful as they are coming.
That's the assurance I can give them as someone who has been involved right from the word go in Asana North here and going to continue to be involved. I can assure them that we will make sure their vote counts and their vote will be collated. That I can assure you.
For the constituents here though, it is absolute enjoyment, as you say, in a much local parlance, as many of them continue to chant and drum with loud music blasting. Let's just pick a few thoughts as well from them.
It's a sweet day for the NDC family. We voted for Honorable James Jachikwe in 2020 election, but the court wanted to tell us that we did not choose the right person or leader for the people of Asana North. Truly to be told, the people of Asana North has spoken again. And today, Honorable Kwesi, the 27th of June, is also our next MP for the people of Great Asana North.
Since James Jachikwe has won, we know that MPP is going to jail him. They should do that, and we are going to have another by-election. you have by-election 10 times, we will vote for James Jachikwesin. That's all what we want.
Of course, you just look at the margin, 2020 election and this current by-election. You see the margin, meaning that the people of Asana North have decided they love Jachikwesin and they want him to lead them in the parliament. So it's a massive. We are too happy for Jachikwesin.
Right then, so constituents here who have expressed ecstasy say that he is the one they want and he is the one that they'll continue to choose no matter what. If you look across, the drumming, dancing and the noise making will continue long into the night for the indigents at Assin Breku, where the final declaration was made. For the National Communications Officer of the NDC, however, he has just one message.
Change is coming. Change is coming. Change is coming.
Eric Mawenagbeta and the rest of the team from Assin Breku here in the Assin North constituency.
Well, an absolute festival in the streets of Assin North yesterday. We'll be crossing over to my colleague Komla Kloche in the constituency, but the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Quaye, described the victory of the NDC as a reflection of what to expect in the 2024 elections.
There are people who believe that you cannot impoverish a nation, you cannot render a people to become so full of suffering, dehumanize them, reduce their dignity, and then use a period of about a month to try hard to deceive them that you care. I mean, so what it is they have signaled is a signal to the rest of the country that this type of governance, this type of leadership, is a leadership that must absolutely be thrown into the dustbin of history, must be punished, must be humiliated, must be exposed. And I hope to God that the 30+ million Ghanaians are paying heed. Because what is happening is something that is destructive to the very soul of our country. It's a democracy that is at risk. It's a nation that is being destroyed by a group of people who have become depraved in their leadership, absolutely corrupt and rotten. And this signal is a signal that this nation is not going to take this depravity. This nation won't take this corruption. This nation won't take this degenerate leadership. This nation is crying again for truth, for justice. Not perfection, because there's no government that is perfect, but some effort to do what is right, to respect people, and not to insult the intelligence of the people of the country.
Well, let's now speak with my colleague Komla Kloche, who is one of our men in the Assin North constituency. All the 99 polling centers in the constituency was extensively covered by Komla Kloche and Eric Mawenagbeta in the by-election yesterday. Komla, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. First of all, congratulations to you and the team on a yeoman's job done yesterday. But how is the town and the constituency feeling like a day after the crucial by-election? Did they even sleep?
Of course, the celebration and the jubilation went deep throughout the night and even this dawn. They say that this is something that is very emphatic from them. It's an emphatic statement from them. And so, yes, you cannot fault them for the jubilation that they are going through, and they are going to go all out and to celebrate the more. They have indication that their member of parliament is jail bound, and that they do not care about it. They will still go on, and just like in that report that was filed by my colleague Mawenagbeta, they say if he is jailed 100 times, they will vote for him 100 times, and so they do not really care whatsoever it is. In terms of the celebration, I think it's natural that the people themselves feel that it's about time that they really, really celebrate this, because since 2020, you recall, on the eve of the inauguration of the parliament, from the 6th to the 7th, it hasn't really been a good time for them right up until just a few weeks ago when the Supreme Court annulled this election. And with this victory, with an over 4,000 victory coming from almost about 3,000 something thereabout, it tells you that they really feel that this is an emphatic statement. They're proud of it, and they will take it. I mean, a good number of them that were talking to us last night said they really, really, really do not care because they knew exactly what they wanted, and it's exactly what they have decided on. And I mean, even others who were speaking for us as outsiders, as observers, our shock was how Quaye was able to win the district capital and also Kushia. Kushia hearing is the fact that the former MP whom he contested against, Droa, is from Kushia, which is the paramountcy, and also the district capital. Yes, Quaye comes from there, but I mean, if you look at it, the NDC has struggled in these two communities so hard, and these are the strongholds of the MPP. And so when the results started coming in, and he pulled his way through the MPP strongholds, it gave an indication that it was quite an emphatic decision by the people.
So in the constituency itself, Kamla, what is going to happen in the constituency a day after the election? And then we also know the constituency was flooded with a lot of big names from both the NPP and the NDC. Are they beginning to leave the constituency? And do we have any indications whether or not the machinery that were brought into the constituency for the massive supersonic speed of development will begin leaving the constituency? Talk to us about that.
So I'll take it from the last one. It's the expectations of the people. Look, up until yesterday, part of Akonfode had their roads being constructed whilst the people were voting. And the expectation of the people is that this will continue. This morning, we're going to have to check whether that will continue. But the people are expecting that irrespective of whatever there is, they deserve these works, the road works and all that's been done. And so they're expecting it to continue. Back to the issue of the big wigs that flooded the place. I can tell you that before it was 7 p.m., not a single NPP official did we see. All those, I mean, the flurry of the V8, the sirens and all that, you could no more hear the wing, and the crisscrossing. We know the state vehicles. We know those. We equally knew the ones that had the NDC, the NDC big wigs on it. But I can tell you, the NDC big gangs now rolled down their glasses. The paraphernalia was all over the place. They were celebrating. Also on the other side, their glasses were rolled up. It was just the amber light without the siren, and they were heading off the constituency toward the capital. As I speak with you, not a single one, but a good number of the NDC big gangs have left the constituency as well as of this morning, per my checks.
Komla Kluche, thank you so much for bringing us those updates from the Asana North constituency. Komla Kluche and my colleague Eric Mawinegbeta and the entire team, the cameramen, all of them did a very good job in the report of the Asana North, the extensive coverage of the Asana North by-election on all the media general platforms yesterday. To some other stories, and petrol plus LPG consumers should expect shortages from Thursday, June 29, due to tanker driver strike over poor roads. The Association of Oil Marketing Companies urges government to prevent a potential crisis. George Quaye has more in this report.
The strike by petroleum tanker drivers continues unabated. Experts say this is an economic issue that has dire implications. These depots here have consignment in them. In order to attend to the vessels, we need to actually lift the consignment in here to create space for whatever content the vessels are bringing. But that is not the case. The more these vessels wait, the more demurrages these depot managers pay. A demurrage is a charge payable to the owner of a charter ship on failure to load or discharge the ship within the time agreed. But how worse can this be?
The cost can be very high, and they can have even a daily rate that they'll pay. Could be thousands of dollars. That's not the only cost they will attract. They attract other costs as well. Because if you are within the ports, you also attract additional port charges.
The petroleum tankers transport the petroleum products from the depots to the fuel retail outlet. And whatever stock they have now can last for the few days. At what point does it become a consumer problem?
First 24 hours is like normal situation. The next 48 hours is going to be crucial. At 72 hours, we are completely dry. And that's where you realize that food cannot even get to the cities.
The Association of Oil Marketing Companies is worried about the strike and is calling on government to swiftly intervene to ensure the worst doesn't happen.
This one is not a business where you say that I've missed this one, I'm going to double the volume. It's not going to happen. People will just be prudent in using the fuel and the quantity will dip. And hence government revenue and also our revenue. So it's not good for everybody.
GPRTU is highly concerned about the strike. Just imagine a driver going to the filling station and told there's no fuel, or even you that owns a vehicle.
Without fuel, all of us have to park. It will affect even foodstuffs. Because we bring the foodstuffs from the hinterland to all the regional capitals.
By now, you can sense that we are on a ticking time bomb. Tanker drivers are unwilling to transport petroleum products until their bad roads are fixed. Stocks of fuel retail outlets are waiting to get depleted. After that, what next? Your guess is as good as mine. Josh Quinnan, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from that, and 6 members of the Western Togoland Cessationalist Group have been sentenced to a total of 26 years by an Accra High Court. They were sentenced for belonging to Western Togoland Restoration Front, a prohibited group with a mission to secede the Volta and Oti regions from Ghana. Lodo Dasari has more in this report.
Prior to the sentencing, lead counsel for the convicts, Chris Akume, prayed for clemency for his clients, citing that they are first-time offenders who were simply keen to know more about their history. Lawyer Chris Akume also pleaded with the court to reduce any custodial sentence since the convicts had already spent more than 2 years in custody. But prosecution disagreed and prayed the court to mete out a deterrent sentence since the security of the country was at stake and the convicts had shown no remorse throughout the trial. Presiding Judge Mary Mami Ekuye-Yanzu, delivering her sentence, noted that it was necessary to give a deterrent sentence, although the convicts were first-timers, to prevent persons who intend to engage in acts that affected the national security. Lawyer for the convicts described the sentence as unfair, since prosecution did not do enough to prove the offences committed by his clients.
On the part of the prosecution, when it comes to the offences which they were alleged to have committed, yes, because some of them were not even at the various courts that they claimed they were, and never participated in some of the actions that have been mentioned in the charges. To be very honest, most of the evidence adduced in court to buttress the charges have been based on statements obtained from them after going through some trauma.
The 6 convicts, Kennedy Awunyo, Kwame Tonyaviji aka Abizebe, Raymond Yao Blue aka Captain, Adam Nukonu aka FBI Commander, Jerry Beglo and Silvano Seshi have been sentenced to 4 years each in hard labor, with the terms expected to run concurrently. The third accused, Raymond Yao Blue, will however serve 6 years for an additional charge of stealing contrary to Section 1241 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Lord Edwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
So there you have it, Western Togoland secessionists there. Now, Ghana suffered a devastating defeat at the hands of an exceptional Moroccan side in the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations last night in Rabat. Morocco displayed a masterclass performance, securing a comprehensive 5-1 victory and securing their place in the tournament's semi-finals, leaving Ghana in need of a win in their final match against Guinea, who also have 3 points to advance. Black Meteors won their first game, Congo, by 3-2, and were optimistic to put up a better performance against Morocco. Now, Ghana must secure a victory in their final group stage match against Guinea to progress. Well, that's it for the morning news, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com, if you log on for more. My name is Noble Crosby and Roland. Good morning, Noella. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Well, good morning to you. How are you?
I do very well. How are you doing?
Barka de Salah.
Barka Dakadi.
What did you say?
I say hey. I responded to your greeting.
Where did you grow up? Because you don't seem to know the response.
What's the response?
It
was just one more syllable.
I know. I'm just holding you out there. And thank you very much. What was your highlight of yesterday? Whether as a point of education, as a point of miseducation, or undue influence, or the way it was covered throughout the period of this by-election?
I think 2 things. The way it was covered and the margin at which James Jachikwe won, I think that stood out for me.